is an emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived.
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest, the best weekly Stardom podcast anywhere in the world. I'm as always Alex, and I am joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, guys. Love in professional wrestling is officially dead. The great Muda / Keiji Muto has retired. It was a great show. I don't know if you saw it, Alex, but basically every woman in Stardom was at that show. Like all the factions went separately. I think Kameko was like the only person notably absent. Because all of DDUM went except for her. All of Stars went. I imagine Queen's Quest went, but they don't really post on social media. And then Oedo Tai went. So yeah, it was like everybody was just there. It was a really good show. So yeah, shout out to Keiji Muto and Masahiro Chono because that was crazy.
All right, you can
Also,
hear
fuck
more.
Tetsuya Naito.
You can hear more about Keiji Muto's retirement show over on the 5-Star Podcast Network. There's a new show that Scott thought up where people come together to talk about something, and the first episode was yesterday, where Dylan, Kay, Peps, and Scott. Is it just you four?
Yep.
Missing somebody? Yeah. They all discussed the Keiji Muto retirement show. Also on the 5-Star Podcast Network, you have us, obviously, Stardom Quest. You have the All Elite Cast, which is an AEW podcast hosted by Scott and the always fabulous 6-Star. You also have Dramatic Dream Dragons, which is hosted by Sandra and other Dylan. You have Watch Tej, which has about 8 people involved, and I do not know their names. And then Peps is hosting a new show called Puro Gems soon, which is a monthly look at all of the indie stuff in Japan, both men's and women's. What is the plug? Ooh.
Yeah, I gotta get at Peps. I want to be on one of those shows, one of the
Probably
early ones. Yeah,
I'm sure you will. The plugs out of the way, I suppose we'll just get straight into New Japan Pro Wrestling. At New Japan's Battle in the Valley, Mercedes Mone made her return to pro wrestling, made her debut under the Bushiroad Fight umbrella when she beat KAIRI to become the new IWGP Women's Champion in 27 minutes.
it won 27.
It was the
25.
longest match on the show.
Wow.
Yeah, so they basically got the main event spot. They just weren't allowed to go on last. But they did have Mercedes like close the show with Okada and stuff, so it did actually feel a bit like a co-main event. But
Yeah.
the women was the main attraction there. And yeah, I mean, first things first, Mercedes Mone just like blindsided the entire fandom with the Hana tribute in it with her gear. I watched like the morning after it happened, and I didn't know anything.
I know.
So,
Usually I would
like,
text you, but I was like, I don't want to ruin this for him.
yeah. So when she showed up with the Hana gear, I just like actively gasped. I was just so blindsided. And a lot of people obviously were because the emotions were running high all day about Mercedes and Hana. I think a lot of people were maybe questioning whether Mercedes was really into the Stardom thing, and then she does that, and yeah, Joshi fans will never turn on her ever. Like she's one of us now. Especially with how like Jungle Kiona and Yoko Kimura were like, Hana would have been so happy. She would have loved this. Thank you so much. So yeah, Mercedes, she like straight away made herself the number one favorite among Joshi fans with that one. Because yeah, it was
Yeah, I
beautiful
started
gear.
bawling my eyes out, bro. I was
Yeah.
just crying. I was like, why? Like, I'm trying to like watch this match critically and like really like dive into like her, and I was just crying and I couldn't. Like for the first like couple minutes, I was like, this motherfucker.
Yeah, there were some people who were like, why did you do this to me?" And I was like,
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah. Yeah, because it's definitely just I think it's because we didn't have time to prepare because usually Hana stuff, like you have time to prepare,
Yeah.
right? Like the tribute shows are announced in advance. You kind of get a feel that Julia might pay tribute to her every now and then. But this was just like completely out of nowhere. So I think that's
Yeah.
why it really shook people.
I was covering Mercedes' return for Wrestling Inc. Like I was watching a bunch of her interviews, doing this, doing that. Uh, and she kept mentioning that she's really excited for her gear and
Mm.
she's really excited for everybody to see it. And I was like, oh, like she has some cool gear ideas. I'm excited to see it. That'll be cool. Um, and now, like with the power of hindsight, I was like that motherfucker. like she was underselling. Like even though she was like, oh, I'm super excited for it. I really hope everybody likes it. I think it'll be really dope. You know, I just was like, I've been hearing about this gear this entire day, basically on Saturday, because I was doing it all day, like listening to interviews of hers and stuff, and she just blindsided me with it. So yeah, that was great. The match itself was also really really fucking good. One of my favorite matches of the year so far, just because it was a fun match. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but like so I went in with pretty low expectations because I felt like everybody had super high expectations. And I'm just like, let's be realistic here, guys. Like she could shit the bed. Like it's very
Mhm.
possible. She's a phenomenal wrestler regardless, but it's her first time in a different ring, and like there are just a lot of things that can go wrong for her, right? So I was like, if I enjoy the match, then I enjoy the match, but I'll take off things that maybe she could have done better. But I just thought this was like incredibly fun. Like I just enjoyed it all the way through. They did it well. She brought out some of the more WWE style stuff, but she didn't really like dwell on it. Like it was mostly just the table spot, and I thought the table spot was dope. Um, and like that type of shit. But yeah, I thought it was a really, really fun match, really good match.
Yeah, it was a great comeback for Mercedes.
Totally.
Like she, even just the presentation of her and everything. Like I know you didn't like the entrance theme, but that obviously
Oh,
wasn't the complete
I'm eating
version.
crow. I'm eating
Yeah,
crow. That's a good theme. I like the
yeah,
theme.
it is great. Like it's a great song. She got like dancers for her entrance, everything. Like she came across as like a major star, and you were kind of reminded in that moment of, oh yeah, she is like really charismatic, right? Like she is a
Hmm.
big star. And then she backed it up in the ring. Um, and thing with that I always enjoyed about her is that she's creative, right? Like she's always like
Very.
thinking of different ways to use the ring. And I thought she did that really well here. Like a lot of the moves were very creative. A lot of the way the match flowed was very creative. Um, I would give a lot of credit to KAIRI as well because she's like mastered the pacing of matches to where
Yeah.
they never ever drag. Like she wrestled 30 with Saya Kamatani and it never dragged. She wrestled 27 here with Mercedes and it never dragged. Like KAIRI is really good at that. And I think you add that to the creativity of Mercedes Money and you got a very engaging, fun, enjoyable match out of that. And I think they both were on, they were both really great in this one. And like KAIRI, I mean, we were talking about it for a while of like, okay, like is she really gonna, get back to her best? And I mean, she's probably never gonna be pre-Stardom KAIRI again, where she was like murdering
Kyrie's so
people.
funny
But
because
she's like performing now.
sorry, but I was talking to my buddy Passion after the show because it was a good show, top to bottom. Uh, even though there was a lot of problems with it, I would say, that weren't even like wrestler problems. Like I thought the crowd was kind of shit. This match, the crowd was obviously great, but the crowd was
Mhm.
shit. Like the crowd made the Tom Lawler match actively unwatchable. Um, this is a bit of a tangent, but literally they just asked for a table spot the entire match. So until the table spot happened, like 13 minutes in, they just did not care. And I was like, you can't wait while they do all of the other stuff that leads up to the whatever, doesn't matter. So I was talking to Passion about it, and I was like, Kyrie is like the only wrestler that like I watch, and consistently she does a good job. Like there have been a couple misses, obviously, but like two bad matches out of her 10 since coming back. Like she's pretty consistent. Like she has great matches, but something in the back of my mind just can't help but say that she's washed, even though she isn't. Like
Well,
she's still delivering. It's just she's not. And I
no,
think
the thing is,
we compared her to like Arisa Nakajima in a way, because
mm,
it's like Arisa Nakajima is still great, but she just isn't actively harming people in the way that
yes,
we kind of miss.
yeah, like Kyrie, like pre WWE, is potentially one of the best of her generation. Like she
Yes.
was fantastic. Um, so that is a high bar to reach, and she's just a very different wrestler now, and she's great at doing what she's doing. Part of us just wants the violent Kyrie, you know. Um, much like Arisa Nakajima is no longer, giving people blunt force trauma as much. Kyrie is also not pulling out stiff beatings, which is fine, Um,
We need her attacking with Nanai more often. I think that's the only time that she really
yeah,
like laid it in,
yes. Well, the
like old
Mayu
school
match, I
style.
thought she was fairly pretty stiff.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like there was just like a certain like violence like that was like, oh my god, this is uncomfortable to a
Mm,
certain degree. Of that Lady C tag, right? The
yes.
size Lady C tag. That's just like I don't know if she's had better matches, but I don't know if she's reached that level of like, oh, she's harming these people.
Oh yeah, that was
Since
her like best overall performance. Like she was feeling
yeah,
it in that one. But yeah, Kyrie's great, and I feel like Kyrie's put in the weirdest spot out of everybody coming out of this because Mercedes has instantly just like slipped in the Stardom canon now. Like she's beefing with people on the internet. She's cutting promos. They're cutting promos on her. Um, she's already getting into the whole okay. I'm with Stardom New Japan now. Um, and Kyrie is back to just being she's gonna slip in and out whenever she feels like it. Now you're gonna have Kyrie sliding in and out and Mercedes sliding in and out, right? So it's like you now have two wrestlers who are just gonna be occasionally having these special matches on the big shows, and it's like, right, uh, Mercedes is obviously gonna have the more important ones because she's the champion.
yeah.
So Kyrie's just in this weird spot of what does she do to keep being important? Um, in between, because obviously when she shows up, she's like, you're just like, oh, she's her, like that's her, like you
Mhm.
watch that entrance, you're like, oh, this is her. Um, but like, what do you do with her then? Now that she's not champion anymore, and
Oh, no clue.
she can't really win either of the main belts in Stardom because Sonny himself has said on the Meltzer boards that she isn't a draw, and if she's not drawing, can't really put the belts on her for a company that's trying to grow. Um, so yeah, she's put in a weird spot in all this. But I mean, it's worth it because I feel like Mercedes just interacting with Azumi and like Mina Shirakawa on Twitter is gonna get their names out there more than just about anything. Um, and I don't think
I
it
mean,
hurts.
I've seen more people ask how to pronounce Azumi's name in the past week than I have ever. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like people, and that's like it's a bit, yeah, but it's like also just like the level of care, right? Like, oh, I care enough to I recognize that Azumi isn't pronounced AZM, so how do you say it? Like that amount of care from just random ass people is clear. Like I don't know. That just like reiterated to me that it's like, damn, people are like paying attention because of Mercedes, and that's dope.
yeah, yeah. Like there's going to be a lot of intrigue from people of like, oh, who is this? Who is Mina? Who is Azumi? Right?
Mhm.
And Mercedes is a big following as well. Like I don't think that should go under the radar. So yeah, I mean, Kyrie's put in a weird spot, but it's worth it. Like you weigh it up, and you're kind of like, yeah, I would take the risk with Mercedes over just sticking with Kyrie. And we already have kind of an indication of what Mercedes is doing next because Azumi challenged her to a match, and you
Yes, she
assume
did.
that is the Sakura Genesis challenger.
Yes,
Yeah. So that's a good
I can't
V1.
imagine them putting that on Yokohama. Uh,
No, no,
because
definitely not.
there's questions of whether or not she's going to defend it in Sakura at Sakura Genesis.
Mm,
She said again because I've listen to all of her interviews at this rate. She said that she's going back to Japan in April, so I
Mhm.
imagine that she's gonna, wrestle Sakura Genesis, wrestle Yokohama, and from there, who knows? Uh, but yeah, so that's great. I think Azumi is maximizing your minutes because I know that they're not going to get that many minutes.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah,
definitely the best
Azumi
option.
is definitely a Japan show challenger where
Yeah,
Gedo is begrudgingly giving them 15, right? This is
at
not an
most.
American 27-minute match. And Azumi fits kind of that, and especially because it's V1, you're not gonna. There's no point in like wasting an Utami or something like that on a V1. And you assume Utami is probably one of the next ones, given that she had the draw with KAIRI that time. Somebody like Shuri might be the Dominion challenger. Like I feel like those kind of people can be brought in after Azumi. So like Azumi is a good first challenger to set up the bigger matches.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Also, I mentioned this on Twitter that it's funny that as of now, Mercedes Money is just gonna go through the entire third generation of the company. Uh,
Yes.
she should make a detour over to Actress and beat up Sumikawa.
Dude, they would like beat the shit out of her an actress.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah. And then
Um,
is Harukaze still around? I think is
she's
that
in
the only
she's
other
in
one?
Gun Pro.
Yeah. Just why not? Mercedes just goes on a tour beating the fuck out of all the third gens. That'd be
Why the
funny.
hell not? She keeps saying this world tour, but then she's only booked in one company, so I don't know.
I know
Um,
she's in one company and one meet and greet. I was like, that's
yeah.
crazy. What a world tour.
Now I did want to, we're finished with Mercedes mostly, but I did want to bring to your attention, our good friend Xavier. He made this comment about Mercedes. Is that when Mercedes was deciding who to challenge her, she said, "Is there anyone here that will never hold the red or white belt? Please step forward." Micah and Azumi stepped up, so that'll be the first two defenses. So
Yeah, I saw that. It made me sad, but it's
yeah.
true.
Uh,
I just be spreading misinformation sometimes because I tweeted about that video that Azumi pronounced her name in, uh, and I was like, damn, she said Zed. B Priestley taught her that, the fucking Brit. And I was like, I hate the British. Like it was a bit, right?
mhm.
And then somebody's like, actually, it's Zeto. Like that's how you pronounce it in Japanese. I'm just like, man, I I was making a joke. Can we just not? Like I know, but like, can we please? So yeah, uh, I got engagement on that too. So people just think I'm dumb. But that's okay.
Yeah, you can't joke on the internet sometimes.
It's not allowed.
It's not great. So yeah, after that, I suppose we get back to Stardom, just Stardom, and there's a big chunk of news from the world of Stardom. The first of
Mm.
which is obviously that Azumi challenged Mercedes Money to an IWGP Women's Championship match. The full card has been announced for the Triangle Derby Finals, which is on 4th of March in the Yoyogi Stadium. Dylan, would you believe that Stardom World is not translating again?
I would like to yell and scream and
It,
and whine
this happens at least like
a lot.
once a week because this
Like I'm at the rate where like I'm thinking about just like I'm thinking about just learning Japanese and doing it myself.
honestly, yeah, like it would make life easier because it translates every other time I use this website. But only when we're recording is it like, nah, fam, gonna read katakana. Anyway, I've got it. So the card for the March 4th pay-per-view, there are two pre-show matches. The first of which is Miyu Amasaki versus Hina versus Rina. Would you believe they are running that exact match back in Cork in the next week as a number one contenders match? Um,
Yes.
yeah, because
And you know
there.
what? You know what? I could tell you exactly. I could tell you exactly what's going to happen. Hina's going to pin Rina, and then Rina's going to win the number one guitar match against Hina. It's going to be like they're just going to flip.
Pretty
That's
much.
exactly what's going to happen.
The second pre-show match then is Utami Hayashishita and Lady C versus Chairman Ram and Maika Ozaki. Uh, we then have our opening match of the show. It's Mayu Iwatani, Koguma, Hana, and Saida and Momo Kogo versus Natsuko Tora, Saki Kashima, Momo Watanabe, uh, Ruoka, and Fukigen Death. Match after that is a 6-woman tag. It's Mina Shirakawa, Mariah May, and Waka Tsukiyama versus Maika, Mai Sakurai, and Tekla. So we're living. We're truly living. Then
They didn't even announce these on the press conference. Like
yeah,
they like just were like,
didn't bother.
these are the big matches, and also these are happening, and
Mhm.
don't talk about it, and then they moved on.
Love that for them. The first great match though is a special singles match. It's Himeka versus Chihiro Hashimoto. We have a Triangle Derby semi-final. It's Shuri Mirai Namisore versus Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, and Saki. The next semi-final then is Nanai Takahashi, Yu and Yuna Mizumori versus Risa Sera, Suzu Suzuki, and Kurumi Hiragi. And then we'll have the Triangle Derby final, which is the winner of the last two matches facing off. To Starlight
Yes.
Kid in a high-speed championship match. They've tried to get the main event spot, but that is not happening. They asked for a fan vote, I think, but there's not a hope. Because
And then Rossi was just like, no,
yeah, because
no,
the last two matches
no.
are Saya Kamatani versus Hazuki for the Wonder of Stardom Championship, and Julia versus Maya Yukihi for the World of Stardom Championship. So
Yeah, you know how much I want Azumi in the main event.
yeah.
There's no way I'd vote against. Like, I mean, I personally vote for the Hazuki match because I mean, like that's my whole thing, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, there's no way. This is what happens when fucking Starlight Kid gets sick. That sucks. That's a shame.
Yeah, you do
And they're
feel bad
billing
for
it.
them.
Yeah, they're billing it as their last high speed match.
Oh,
Like they're
interesting.
both graduating from the division basically after this.
I see, I see. Okay. I mean, I can buy it. I feel like Starlight Kid already has, and they've just dragged her in for one last huzzah. Um, yeah, that's the card for a March 4th. I am now less certain than ever who Julia's challenger is for Yokohama Arena. I feel like the list is at like 4 people now. Like, believably, there's only 4 people it could be. It's either Utami, Tam, Mayu, or KAIRI. That's all I could think of for like believable Yokohama Arena challengers for Julia.
Yeah, like I feel like there aren't a lot of like outsider names you could think of to do this.
Yeah.
You know, because like it would be Hashimoto if she wasn't doing the stuff with Sherry. Like that would be an interesting
Hmm.
match. But yeah, Mayuki, he's apparently out of the company after this match. Like
Maybe.
that's kind of how they're billing it. Like Julia's like, oh, you'll never wrestle here again. Don't worry, I'm gonna blackball you. I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay. Um. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the Tam match going on there because I've been sick of Tam versus Julia matches since the second one.
Yeah.
And this would be the sixth, I believe. So I prefer not to do that. But you know, I'm cool with like an Utami challenge. But I mean, she's on the pre-show on this
Yeah, like
show.
Utami
So
would feel ice cold for like a match that they've protected so heavily. Like she's ice
yeah,
cold. Like it would make zero sense to do it. So it's like Mayu, and Mayu is cold as well. But Mayu you can
yes,
just
very.
plug in at any point. Um, and then you're kind of like, okay, so Kyrie or Tam, like, and
I'm
Tam.
not against the Kyrie match, but I mean, if
Mm,
the always truthful Sunny is right that she's just straight up not a draw, I don't know why they put her in the main event because like I feel like that's like a drawing power move
yeah.
instead of a logical move, and she doesn't have that drawing power. So it's like,
Yes. And
what's
the
the
thing
point?
is, Tam is incredibly popular. So like she as that Julia Challenger makes a lot of sense because they are both incredibly popular, and they've got the feud. Even to me, it
I
would be
think Tam should
overkill.
shave her head this time.
Maybe, yeah. No, like even to me, it would be overkill of Julia versus Tam at this stage. But like, I feel like it makes sense when you consider how popular Tam is. Um,
And also, I don't know if Tam is making it out of the year. I'm gonna be real.
yeah, I know we said that last year. um,
Yeah, that's true.
and we'll probably say it every year now because she's old. But yeah,
Not even. It's like she said like 3 years ago. Oh, I don't plan on being here for more than two and a half,
yes,
3 years.
that's true. She did
So
tell
now
us.
it's like
Um,
any day.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, you might be right, and this would be a good like gift, I guess, to her for everything she's done. So yeah, like maybe we will have to prep for Tam versus Julia because I mean, I just can't see anything else. Like, I mean, Prominence is probably busy as defending the artist belts on that show. 7 Up are going to be defending their belts, presumably. Like, there's just nobody else. So, yeah.
Bring in Mayumi Ozaki. She's a fucking draw. Let's go. She'll get all of the old heads from Oz Academy
Dude,
out.
I would, like, literally rather watch paint dry.
That's on you. I think that'd be a fun ass match.
Mayumi Ozaki
Versus Julia.
in 2023.
Specifically. Yes.
Are you okay?
No, but that's not relevant.
I love the
I think
delay.
that'd be a.
Okay. All right.
I think that'd be an interesting matchup.
All right. Sure.
You know, because I was just thinking about if this was damn, it's been 7 years since 2016.
Yeah.
She's gotten worse since then.
She has.
Because I was just thinking about the Dynamite Kansai retirement match against Mayumi Miyazaki. I talked about it yesterday, but I've just been thinking about it the past couple days, and I was like, damn, that was like a really really fun match.
Mm,
So yeah, fuck it, get Mayumi Ozaki over here.
sure. Why not? Stardom has also announced some matches for shows throughout March. On the Cork Hall show on the 10th of March, there is a Future of Stardom Championship match. Ami Sourei is defending against Lady C. Himeka's Retirement Road has a new match. It's Himeka versus Natsupoi. That in a Corkin is amazing. And then we have the Future of Stardom Championship #1 contenders match: Miyu Amasaki versus Rina versus Hina. So I wasn't lying. They are running a pack a week later. um, they've also added on March 11th Stardom in Hachioji. It's Maihime versus Meltier as part of Himeka's Retirement Road. And we have a few matches official now for the New Blood Premium show. It is the Supernova 5th match. Or no, is it? It's Supernova 5-match series 3rd match.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that now.
And this is Miyu Amasaki versus Siri, because Kevin has a death wish, I guess. And we also have
Oh, ooh, wait, ooh, wait.
Oh.
Let's much like Kevin Nash. I think after this match, Miyu Amasaki is no longer gonna have knees. Because that's all I can come up with. I was trying to find a Kevin that was dead, so I can be like, oh, much like Kevin Blank, she's a dead man, right? But I couldn't really find any notable one. I mean, there was that one actor who just died, and Kevin,
Right.
dead Kevins. I'm gonna look up dead Kevins. Hold on. Much like dead Kevin, the YouTuber,
Oh dear God.
Miyu Amasaki is gonna be dead. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
This is a weaker one. I'm sorry, guys.
Yes. Yeah.
Do better
Might
next week.
be time to retire the bit. I won't lie to you.
There's some more. I was like, there's some really. You know what? You wanna know the first one I came up with that was like, ah, that's a bit distasteful.
What?
This match, the reason why we call Miyamasaki Kevin is because much like Kevin Sullivan, this match is going to involve the death of a wrestler.
Oh my
Um
God.
which is obviously, if you don't know about the conspiracy theory, that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's move on.
Okay. So the other match announced for the New Blood Premium show is Sakura Ishiguro's debut match, which is Ishiguro versus Julia. So we'll
Shouts out Girl Chen.
we'll dive a little bit more into that later. Also announced was the entire first round of the Cinderella Tournament 2023. So we have all of the matches. So it's time to go Excalibur mode. So
Woo.
we have Utami Hayashishita versus Nanai Takahashi, Maika versus Momo Watanabe, Julia versus Mai Sakurai, Azumi
Mm.
versus Hazuki,
Hell yeah.
Mariah May versus Rina,
Okay,
Siri versus Tomoka Inaba,
that's hot.
Momo Kogo versus Saki Kashima,
Cool.
Saya Kamatani versus Mayu Iwatani,
Hell yeah.
Lady C versus X.
It's gonna be a white woman.
Yes, Starlight Kid versus Haruka Umasaki.
You know.
Yeah. Ami Sourei versus Yuna Mizumori. Tam Nakano
Hmm.
versus Himeka in
Hell yeah.
a nice retirement road match there. Natsuko Tora versus Ruaka. I like that one.
Ooh, I like it.
Mirai versus Hanan.
Hmm.
Sai Ida versus Miyu Amasaki. Maybe Ida will win a match
Hmm.
finally.
Woo.
Nat-
Finally, let's go.
Natsupoi versus Mina Shirakawa in a big match.
They've ran that back like I'm waiting. I remember the first time they had that singles.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, Mina's turning on her, and she didn't. But every single time since then, because they've ran this like 4 or 5 times now, or maybe 3. This is the I can't count. I'm gonna be real. Um, but I feel like every time I was like, okay, is Mina gonna like, are they gonna have heat now? And then they don't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you just don't trust anyone.
No, I don't.
Our next match anyway is Koguma versus Tekla. We have
Yay.
Hina versus Double X to round out the tournament. First round.
Yet another white woman,
Yeah,
probably.
I think Sunny said that they're both foreigners. So,
I think it's gonna. My take is Kylan King and Zoe Lucas.
I quit. I'm done.
Can't always get what you
I
want,
quit.
Alex.
Zoe Lucas is my number one op. Like I watched
Yeah,
I
yeah.
watched every single Zoe Lucas multi-person tag with TCS and suffered. You know,
Oh, so did I.
like
Yeah.
she is the op. Kylan King is beast, but I don't know if that's worth Zoe Lucas, to be quite honest with you.
And they're going into the next round at least.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I feel would they get another British woman? Yeah, of course they would. Of course they would. I don't know.
100%. They love
Yeah,
Brits.
that's true. That's true. All right. Well, let's just hope it's not. It's not Zoe Lucas. Um. Right. So the fun thing is that they actually showed the they showed the crowds
Brackets.
reacting to these
Oh, that.
matches as they were announced, and so the matches that got like actual reactions were Utami versus Nanai. Obviously, that got a
Mhm.
nice reaction. Um, to a lesser extent, Siri versus Inaba. That got a
Yes.
few like O's and A's. Saya Kamatani versus Mayu Iwatani. One guy was like beside himself when that was announced. Like you
Mhm.
could just hear him being like, "Oh ho ho!" Starlight Kid versus Umasaki got a big pop when it was announced.
Yeah, that was a big one. That's one that I
And
noticed.
Natsboy versus Mina got a big reaction as well. And I think that was
Yeah.
all really got a reaction. But yeah, that's a nice indication of what the people want in their wrestling.
In Cork and Hall, at
In
least.
Cork and Hall, that is. And with that, I think we're done all of the news. There was lots of little announcement-y bits to round up. We'll obviously talk about the trainees like in 2 seconds when we get to the
Mhm.
Corkin, but I think that's all of the news. So let's just get straight on to the review section because we have 2 shows to look back on. And
Yes, we do. I watched all of them. All of it.
really, wow,
Yes.
okay.
All of each show.
Wow, you are a trooper. So the first show to review was on February 17th. This was the Triangle Derby #1 Corkin tournament. They did 1,126 fans here, which I guess is decent for like a Friday because it's not like a normal day to run that kind of venue.
Yeah, I mean, getting over 1,000 in Cork and Hall is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
Uh, so can't complain.
Mhm.
I thought the crowd was great. This is probably the specifically for the Waka match. I think that was probably the best crowd Stardom has had in 3 years. Like the most like lively.
Wow. I mean, I can't
Because
disagree.
I mean, like the Osaka show. I mean, the Osaka show was like good, but it was still Osaka, and it was still a bigger arena with less people. Not less people, but like I don't know. Just that hot Korakuen crowd is just a different level. Um, and I think with that Waka match, they were just all into it.
Yes, yeah. I mean, Waka's like the most over thing going.
Yes.
Like Julia is obviously like the main character, most popular wrestler, but Waka is like the momentum is with her. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, that was really cool. To start off the Karkin, we were introduced to the 3 new rookies that passed their protests. I believe there was somebody brought up an article from late last year where Rossi said he had 7 trainees. And
Yeah,
somebody,
there was a picture
yeah, somebody found a
from Dragon
photo
Moon.
of like the other 4 watching from the balcony. So there are still 4 trainees waiting to pass their tests. Maybe they failed their tests, maybe they didn't take them, we don't know. But we do have 3 newcomers. The first one, there's been some debate about her name, but I believe it's Komomo Minami.
Yeah,
Because on the subtitles on Stardom World, it's Komomo Minami, but the English Stardom account called her Como. So, you know,
I wish it was Como.
yeah. Um,
I feel like that'd be way easier.
yeah, probably. But
We already have Como.
Komomo Minami. Obviously, these are all gonna get changed. By the way, the names. I mean, Miyu Amasaki was introduced as something like completely different. Um, but yeah, so Komomo Minami, she's from Fukuoka. She's the smallest one.
Yes.
She's billed as 153 centimeters, which is very small. She's got something, you know. Like I was looking at her and I was
Does
like,
she?
she's gonna do some stuff. Like she's gonna be like a really good baby face. Like I just know it.
See, she's the dark horse of the 3,
Hmm.
right? Because like there are very specific like tells of the other 2 where it's like, oh, you know, this one's obviously gonna be this one's obviously gonna be that. But I feel like she's the one that's like, what's she gonna do? What's her move? I mean, obviously it's high speed because that's what she said. Um, like that's kind of her goal is to be the highest speed champ.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested in all 3 of them. But she's definitely I don't want to say least interesting because that's mean, but like she has the least about her. You know what I mean?
I don't know. She jumped out to me almost immediately. I was like, she's the one. But I didn't.
I thought you were going with Girl-chan.
Yes, I did eventually settle on her. But initially, I was
Gotcha,
like,
gotcha.
a small one is the one. Um, We also have Hanako Ueda from Kyoto. She is billed at 181 centimeters tall, making her,
She's 179
yeah,
or 78, 78.
but in canon that makes her 4 centimeters taller than Lady C. Lady C now has
Yes.
no identity and is in the mud. Hanako Ueda used to be Risa Fella. I never did figure out what
Either
that was
one.
meant to be, but she was like,
I still do both.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause she was like a knockoff tall version of Risa Sera who like wrestled in prominence briefly. Was like, oh yeah,
Yes.
I'm retiring, and everybody went, no, you're not. You're going to Stardom, and here she is as a Stardom trainee, and yeah, she's tall, so she's already got that going for her, and she does have a bit of a background in wrestling already, so I'm sure.
I think she's dope.
Yeah, I mean, she's gonna be way
Like
better than the other 2, like out of the gate.
100%. Because I mean, like I watched those prominence shows and prominence matches with her, and she wasn't great, but like she was like foundationally fine. You know, she
Yeah.
was good. So with like additional training outside of the university circuit, it's gonna be great. I think she has a
Who
lot of.
trained
She's
her?
my pick. She wrestled at UWF, which is University Wrestling Federation.
Oh,
As far as I'm
is
aware.
she a so is
So
like an amateur wrestler?
yeah, it was so like you know how Stardom like some of those girls went to the college
Mm-hmm.
and watched the match. She was one of those wrestlers.
Ah,
Like that's in a wrestling club, uh, collegiately.
right.
In a pro wrestling club, not a wrestling club. You know, you get what I mean. So she was doing that, and then that's actually I don't think she actually retired from prominence. I think she was just like done with school.
All right.
Like
Okay.
I think she was like graduating from her, wrestling club personality or whatever. That's what I remember or I've heard at least.
Okay. Interesting. But yeah,
So yeah.
she'll obviously be like the more solid of the lot, considering she has experience in the ring. And the last announced debutante is Sakura Ishiguro from Hyogo. She's 158 centimeters tall, so just barely taller than Minami, but it is noticeable. Um, Ishiguro is I've decided is my one. She is my bias.
You picked a good one.
I did. I had to after my Evolution Girls favorite like dropped out. Yeah, because only 3 of those survived from the initial
Yeah.
5. Because I was all about Otto, I think. Because I was like, Otto's the most badass name ever, and you're like a gravure idol, so you're gonna kick the shit out of people. But yeah, she left. So I think Sunny is my new favorite because she's just like old and chill. So yeah,
I don't know. I saw a pic of them, but I forgot who was who, and like I just wasn't paying attention. I
that's
saw it late
fair.
last night
That's fair. Yeah, it's
of
it's
them
Zones
debuting.
Zones and Chi Chi are the other two.
Zones is a crazy name.
Yeah, she's a unit too.
So
Like,
was Chi
yeah,
Chi.
Chi Chi is very noticeable because she just looks so different than the rest. She's got like clearly dyed blonde hair and stuff. So you're like, all right,
Yeah.
I get what you're going for. And yeah, Zones is a unit. But yeah, Ishiguro is my choice of the my pick of the litter here. She's a karate personality. Yes, she
Yes.
has a TikTok for showing
Yes,
off
she
her karate
does.
moves. So she is
Why?
another kicker.
She was also a Gravier model
Oh,
or
really? Oh, she's
whatever.
gonna throw
Yes.
head kicks like nobody's business. This business is
Yeah. So
saved. Use upon the
so
second.
I did go on her I did go on her TikTok, and a lot of her most recent TikToks, she stopped using it like, last year. A lot of her most recent TikToks were her uh like her weight loss journey so that she could be a model,
Right.
right? A karate girl model. Uh and that was kind of her thing. But she kicks like dude, like you know how Ueda is like tall as
Yeah.
shit? She can kick over
Oh
Ueda's
my
head
god.
like very easily. I mean, I don't know. I think she got injured, like she fucked up her hamstring or something. But at some point, she could kick over Ueda's head. It's crazy. Like her, oh my god, like her extension is absurd. So yeah, I'm excited
Okay.
for her a lot.
She is.
Honestly, her name of all of them should not get changed. I think it's a dope ass
Mm.
name, Sakura
Keep
Ishiguro
the Sakura at
or
least,
Guro.
because like Sakura is cool.
I don't know. Julia already made a bit out of her being
That's
Guro-chan.
true.
I feel like that's gonna stick.
Yeah, maybe. That's very similar though to Ida's thing. If I was Ida, I'd be like, "Hey, back off," because she's
Guro Guri.
Gory-chan. You
Yeah.
know, it's a bit similar. Um, but yeah,
Maybe drop the Ichi. Maybe
mm,
it's just Sakura Guro.
maybe.
I feel like that works.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see. But yeah, so she's gonna save the business. She is the second coming of Yuzuki Aikawa. I have decided. Um, And I mean, they've told us already that Ishiguro is their favorite. Like the other two got shuffled off to the side so she could challenge the world champion for her debut. If that is not Stardom being Stardom and going, she's the one, I don't know what is. Like Rossi is a very easy man to understand. Much like Utami getting a draw with Jungle Kiona on her debut, Ishiguro getting promo time and put against the world champion is him saying, I like her. So I
Yeah.
expect her to get pushed the most, pushed the earliest, probably winning the future belt within 12 to 18 months. Um, and yeah, I have high hopes for Ishiguro.
Yeah. I have hopes for all of them. Obviously, I'm a Ueda fan because I am a prominence
Hmm.
guy. So like coming out of that. But yeah, I'm excited for all of them. I'm excited for new trainees.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think that I missed having new trainees around because like just think about like Saida. Like Saida can beat Minami Komomo or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's nice. She has somebody that she can like clearly beat for
yeah,
now. It feels like, and we haven't had that because Saida is what the third most recent debut,
yeah, yeah.
fourth.
True.
If I mean Kamatani, Kamatani, Lady C, and Miyu Amasaki are the only ones to come after her that are still
Mm.
there. So yeah, I don't know. I'm happy that there's a bit more room for people to climb up. I think is what I'm trying to
Well,
say.
yeah. I mean, the future division gets retooled, but also there's new piniers, which is always good.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, and Stardom gets to. I feel like Stardom gets to show people that like their perception is a bit off because I feel like everybody's always like, "Oh, Stardom's like really bad at training people," and I'm like, I don't know.
They just haven't trained
Yeah,
anybody
like,
since the
but
greatest
when
trainer that
was their last bad trainee? You know what I mean? Like
it
the
was
thing
Lady
with Miyu
C,
Amasaki and
and Lady C's gotten
yeah, but
better.
the thing with them is they're popular as well. Like, so clearly
Yeah.
they're training something to get these wrestlers to be popular, right? So like this, I find that to be a weird perception because I would also ask, when was the last time a non TJPW or Ice Ribbon trainee was like amazing, right? Because you're going back. I mean, Ai Hozan isn't amazing. She's good, but she's not like
She's good.
you're looking at that. What was it? Third wave of Marvelous trainees, and that was in 2019 or 2018.
Marvelous needs some new
Yeah,
trainees, man.
or I guess you could say Riko Kaiju. She'd probably be the most recent.
Yeah.
But like, there's this perception that everywhere else is just popping out talent, and Stardom is really bad. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I think I'd take Lady C over. What was her name from Wave? Sukata or something. Like, it's a pretty
I don't know who
lateral
you're talking about.
move.
That's a bit. I I mean, I think they compare it to like also to the past, which isn't really fair because post COVID and pre COVID are very
Yes.
different. Um, so it's like when you go from Fuka, Yu Ushino, and Milano, maybe like it's a drop
Mm.
off in people's mind. But I mean, yeah, I mean you're right. Like, and I think and I've talked about this with my friends a lot. That's like people expect way too much out of new debuts. Like not everybody's gonna be fucking Utami Hayashishita. Like that's just how just because like for me, I started watching Stardom the month Utami
Yeah.
debuted, like the month after. So my first like the first person like the person that's been with me this entire journey from the like is Utami.
Hmm.
So I've seen that entire thing. And that's not how trainees go. You know
No.
what I mean? Like cuz she's just an absurd talent.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, why aren't they pumping out more Utamis and Kamatanis?" It's like because that's not how
Well, and the
wrestling
thing
works
is,
99% of the
we
time.
watched that first Kamatani GP. She was terrible.
Oh, it was terrible.
That first go if you haven't seen it, go back and watch her first GP, specifically the draw
Watch
with
her match
Himeka.
against Himeka.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, that was
that
terrible.
draw with Himeka, one
God
of the
awful.
worst matches I saw that year. Saya Kamatani took a long time to make that leap from rookie to actual wrestler. Like people just assume she got amazing overnight, and it's like, no, we watched that GP. She was not good. It takes time sometimes. Um, so yeah, like I don't know, the perception that Stardom's just like bad at trading people. I'm like, yeah, but everybody's popular or really good. Like Ida is really good. Utami is both. Saya Kamatani is both. Masaki very popular. So like they're clearly doing something right. Um, but that's just how I would see it anyway. And I don't.
I think it's just a matter of unproven
Yeah,
because they just haven't
potentially.
pumped out anybody except for Miyu Amasaki. So, and I think that's kind of where the excuse me, that's kind of where the perception comes from, where it's like, oh, well, the only person you produced in the past 2 years is Miyu Amasaki, and she's not quite very good
Yeah.
after a year. And I don't think that's really fair because she doesn't wrestle.
Yeah.
She's not around. She wrestles a couple times a month
But
most.
also,
Uh,
didn't she like beat every single TJPW wrestler in that Shoot Pro vote? Like
yeah,
she like they've clearly done something correct with Kevin if she is that popular. So it's yeah, I don't know. It's always just a strange one to me, but I'm sure we'll know a bit more after this class. I mean, if like one of these three is good and the other two aren't, then I feel like you can maybe start going, okay, yeah, you're trailing a little bit, but until then, it's a bit of a it's a bit of an early assessment, I guess.
yeah,
Um,
I get that.
yeah, that's enough about the rookies. The opening match of the show was a four-way tag match. The winners were Maika and Himeka. They beat Miyu Amasaki and Lady C, the team of Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May, and the team of Rina and Fukigen Death. This match lasted about 8 minutes when Himeka rolled up Lady C after Mina Shirakawa hit her with a spinning back fist. So they did a really clever finish there. I really liked that. Um,
Yeah,
the Mina introducing her faction thing is really over.
it's over, and I
It's
hate it.
so
Like,
like
like
it's such a heelish
I
thing,
hate it.
but the people love it. It's crazy.
Also, one thing about it on this show was that Mina took Ano's mic, and Lady C walked up to him like, "Are you gonna let this bitch do that? It's
Yeah.
crazy. She just took your shit." And he's like, "Yeah." Like you could just see in the background they're like talking.
Yes.
She's like, "What the fuck is that?" When she starts imitating her, I was like, "Lady C's based, bro." Also, Mariah's really bad at dancing, and I'm sorry, but it's far more noticeable
See,
now,
you need a
and I
third.
just
You
can't.
need a third. Not Zoe Lucas. but you
That's
need
why
a third.
Zoe Lucas is
No,
gonna show up.
no,
That's
no.
why.
You need
Yeah,
a third, not Zoe Lucas, but a third.
I'll give you Candy Floss. Best I could do.
I didn't mind Candy Floss, so I
I thought
would
she was
take it.
fine.
I don't think she wrestles anymore because she like stopped wrestling under WWE's banner for like ages, and I don't know if she's come back. So I don't know if Candy Floss is a wrestler anymore. To be honest with you,
I don't know if anybody in the UK is a wrestler anymore. I'm gonna
that's
be real.
true. I only ever see like 4 women booked by anyone that's not Eve.
Oh, women! I'm not even talking about just women. I only see Sunshine Machine and Spike Trevay booked. Those are the only motherfuckers
That's
I
true,
ever
yeah,
see.
and that's only because of James. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I only ever see like a handful of women booked that aren't Eve. I feel like Eve is just like you work for us and only us or something, because like people just wrestle there and then never again. Like it is very strange. Um,
Eva's sus. I'm gonna be real.
yeah,
Just
kind
a
of,
bit.
but it's fine. Um, but yeah, Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa, they need a third. Mina announcing her team is really popular with the crowd. Fukigen Death is one of the most over things in Stardom. The crowd loves doing the death stuff with her. It is amazing. Um, so yeah, this was a really fun opener with the crowd just being like super into it, and the work like they just kept going. And it was a really clever finish. Like this was a really fun opener.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Lady C's cool. That's the thing I
Yeah,
noted down. I've been trying to take less notes, but I made sure to say
she was
Lady
the
C is
star of the
cool.
weekend in many ways. Yeah.
Oh, she's dope.
Um,
She dead named fucking Kami
that was
Sore.
amazing. Oh, we'll get to that. Don't you worry.
Like
We
she
will.
like
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
something. That's something.
The match after that was a triangle derby match. It was Momo Watanabe, Saki Kashima, and Natsuko Tora of Gold Ship beating Haruka Umasaki, Starlight Kid, and Ruaka of Unique Glare. Saki Kashima pinned, I think it was Umasaki. Um,
No, I think it was
was it?
Ruaka, wasn't it?
Mm,
It was
okay, all
Ruaka.
right. She pinned Ruaka to get the win. Yeah, this was very entertaining. Like this was one of the best
Yes.
Cora era Oedo Tai matches. They were just like going at it.
I forgot. I forgot the Oedo type
Mm.
formula because it's been so long. Like the one that works.
Yeah, because the kids,
With the like immediate
yes,
crowd brawling
yeah,
that was just like really like intense, and then they just go in, they just start wrestling, and they don't do like that. That was
mm.
the heat. Was them doing the shit around Korakuen.
Like the kids attacked before the bell, and that just led to them brawling, and then they got in the ring and they were just going for it. It was fantastic. Starlight Kid gets boos because she asks the crowd to boo for her, but they also chant along to the SLK thing.
I hate that so much.
So
I and Maya Yukihi did it later. I hate when they're like, "Why aren't you
Kihi
booing me?" And they're
read the
like, "Oh,
room. Yuki's
boo!"
thing was so bad, and
It was
I will
terrible.
definitely get to that. But yeah, this was a great tag match. Like this is one of the better matches of
Really
this
fun.
entire derby. Like it was just non-stop.
Oh, 100%.
And
I This is like one of the first times that I've noted down that Momo was like good in a long time. Not saying that she's ever bad particularly, but like I was like, "Oh, I noticed that Momo really fucking
mm,
performed here." And I like that a lot. You know, I when she's on her game, she's one of the greatest wrestlers of this
of course,
generation. So,
I agree.
yeah, I enjoyed this a lot.
Yes, it was a great match. Also, a great match was our next match in the Triangle Derby. It was Yuna Mizumori, Yu, and Nanai Takahashi beating Yuko Sakurai, Rina Amakura, and Waka Tsukiyama of Lollipop. Yuna Mizumori won with a tropical smasher in 13 minutes. Um,
It's that TKO.
yeah. Dude, the crowd was molten for Waka. Like,
Yeah.
Nanai had her in a figure four leg lock, and the crowd was just chanting Tsukiyama, Tsukiyama. You and Yuna came in and like did moves on Waka and got actual heat. Like people are getting
Yeah.
actual heat in Stardom for
It's
hurting
crazy.
Waka. Um, just the crowd is gonna lose their minds when she wins. Like this was
See,
great.
it's so crazy. It's so crazy how like and I think you tweeted about this, how like Oedo Tai does all of the shtick that's meant to get you booed, and Seven Up just beats the fuck out of Waka Tsukiyama, and they are way more like they get way more like genuine
Mhm.
heat than Oedo Tai has in
S-
years. Like
The
that's insane. I
Stardom's
love it.
crowd has never booked with heels. Like they don't care to boo, right? Like that was
Yeah.
always a thing with Stardom. Even Kagetsu era Oedo Tai, and they were doing bad things, they were like, "Hey, that's kind of fun." Like they just don't. Ooh,
And I mean, that's why it works so
yeah,
well. Because it's like they weren't like, "Oh yeah, boo
yeah,
me." It's like, no, they were like, I'm gonna be an asshole. I'm gonna be a fucking asshole, and y'all are gonna like it, right?" They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna like
yeah.
it." That was just like the vibe, right? And that's what I've missed from
Mhm.
Oedo Tai. But I think Seven Up kind of got that,
And
which is
yeah, and
kind of
7 Up
weird.
has got it because you just destroys everybody's favorites.
He was so
But
fucking
yeah,
good.
I
He was
mean,
so fucking good, dude. Did you hear them laugh when they were like, "Oh, you got another fucking belt? That's crazy."
yeah,
Because they announced a fourth one, and then they were like, "This motherfucker don't miss."
she's like the best Joshi wrestler
Oh
on the
man,
planet right now. Like she's the wrestler of the
she's the best
year.
wrestler in the planet,
She's
bro. Like she's far and away. Like on my spreadsheet, she's far and away. I say this every week. She's still the number one
yeah.
wrestler. Turn Kaito
Yeah.
Kiyomiya.
Kaito. Yeah. But yeah, this is a great match, man. Like they were working over Waka and the crowd was just red hot behind her. Like the
Yeah,
kind of stuff that you just haven't seen in forever from Stardom because obviously cheering wasn't allowed. Um and yeah, like the crowd really enhanced this.
you and Yuko also did very well. I remember they did a segment with you and Yuko. That was really
Yeah,
fucking
I
good.
mean everybody was
Uh,
really good.
it was you just
Yeah, like
beating her up.
everybody's really good. You know, like Yuko is great, Rina Amakura is great, Unimon,
Yeah.
you, Nanai, all really talented. So it definitely all came together.
After the match, Yuna shook Waka's hand and whispered something in her ear. Uh,
There
lore, I
was
don't know.
I noted that as well with Mina was like very passionately cheering on Waka. Like there's
Oh, I mean, there's
yeah, like
definitely
they're
something
setting
there.
up avenues for Waka getting kicked out of Cosmic Angels, but still having something to do. Because I feel like Mina might immediately be like, "Well, join Club Venus instead," or you know, then I would be like, "Hey, join us." So they are setting stuff up
I
there.
I said this before that one, it's gonna suck when she's no longer with the colors because again,
Yeah,
that's where she's best. Um, but two, Cosmic Angels is gonna be fucking nothing if uh if Waka leaves with
yeah.
Club Venus. Because
Well,
if Waka leaves with Club Venus, then it's just the two of them and
yeah,
colors.
I don't know if there's a full split or if it's just like you're under my umbrella here because I'm pretty sure again this is Sunny and I mean I don't always take Sunny as like 100% reliable, but I'm pretty sure he said that Club Venus isn't splitting from Cosmic Angels. It's just a place for the English speakers to go. Mina speaks English, so Waka going there as well would make sense because she also speaks English. So I could see Mina just being like, well, under Tom's leadership, but you can come join my little group, and they'd still be Cosmic Angels adjacent. They just would have their own thing.
Yeah, I could see that. That also leaves it a bit more open ended because as much as Mariah May wants to stay there forever, I don't know if she will be able to. So it's like at some point, it's possible Club Venus just doesn't really
Mm,
exist. You know what I mean? It's just Mina and presumably Waka. So like having them be completely on their own probably isn't the
yeah,
smartest idea.
definitely. Um, we'll have to wait and see how that goes because that is gonna pay off next month at the New Blood Premium.
Yeah.
The next match on the show then was a Triangle Derby match. It was Hazuki, Koguma, and Saya Ida beating Saya Kamatani, Azumi, and Utami Hayashishita. Hazuki pinned Saya Kamatani in 10 minutes with a brainbuster. Um, Koguma and the Kuma stuff is very over. Azumi got heat for not playing along with it. So, two ways to get booed in Stardom. Beat up Waka, don't do the Kuma dance. Foolproof.
That's
Like,
great.
Azumi
I
got
love
more
that.
heat in this
It
match
is
than Oedo Tai has
yeah.
ever. uh, just for
Yeah.
not doing the Kuma.
And then she did like a high speed exchange, and everybody was like, "Okay, you cool." Okay, and then they started chanting Azumi. I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, that's what it's all about." Um, I said last week that this was under deliver. I was completely wrong. They fucking cooked, bro. I like this
Yeah,
match.
this was definitely
Like
all six.
Queen's Quest just randomly decides to like be like, you know what?
Well,
I'll give a
it's a
fuck.
Korkan.
I'll give a
They
fuck
did
this
the
time.
full like robes big match entrance.
Yeah.
Like you knew they were gonna do some shit, and they did. Specifically though, Hazuki was like beating the shit out of Saya Kamatani, because she was setting up a white belt challenge after when she pinned Saya, and the
Yes.
crowd was very on board with that. They were very on board with Hazuki challenging, and they reacted big to the finish as well, because I feel like don't see that as much from Stardom anymore, where somebody pins the champion.
That was a Hazuki era
Yeah,
gimmick. Like that's what would happen back in the day,
yeah, because
every
they
single
don't
time.
like do that setup as much anymore, where the person will pin the champ and be like, "Hey, I want your belt now." So like when it happened, everybody was like, "Whoa!" Like they got a big reaction, which is cool. And yeah, like the crowd is into Hazuki challenging. I am into Hazuki challenging because Hazuki and
I
Saya
am into
was
Hazuki
like my
challenging.
second favorite match of last year, maybe third favorite. Like they were badass in that GP match.
And I mean, Hazuki works when she's in a white belt match. I mean, I was thinking about earlier. Her worst white belt match was against Io fucking Shirai, and that was a good match. But like, literally, like her and KAIRI, like cooked. Her and Momo was one of my favorite matches of 2018. Her and Arisa was one of my favorite matches of 2019. Like it's she's just I don't know. This is it. I'm gonna be very sad when she loses, but this is it. I'm hyped.
Yeah. But the match will be good. But yes, I mean Hazuki's losing.
You know what's funny is I call Hazuki a buster a lot. I called her it a lot in the 5 star when she just you know grabbed defeat out of the jaws of victory. Um, but there's one other person who happened to use a move called a buster. And her name was Jungle Kiona, and it was informed to me that Hazuki and Jungle Kiona, if Hazuki loses here, Hazuki will surpass Jungle Kiona for most unsuccessful defenses of a singles championship in Stardom.
Oh, interesting.
I believe she will be at 8 or
What
9,
about Kid though? Doesn't
and
Kid have like
Jungle is at
loads?
no. Oh wait, maybe high speed. Okay, at the top 2
All right,
championships,
okay.
I
Yeah, so
should say.
she's like firmly goated.
Because
But she has also been here
yeah,
for
I
like
mean, and
forever.
I also think Kid also didn't have that many. Regardless,
Possibly.
it's definitely a jungle. It's a jungle. It's a Buster thing.
Fair
Let's just
enough.
call it that.
Right. Well,
Um,
Hazuki's
shame.
day might come eventually. We'll have to wait and see.
It should.
But yeah, that was a cool match. The next match then was Rebel X Enemy team of Mayu Kihi, Chairman Ram, and Maika Ozaki taking Momo Kogo, Hanan, and Mayu Iwatani. Mayu Kihi got the win for her team with a move called the Sulala.
Hmm.
um, this is probably the first like step down in quality match wise. I thought it was like fine, but definitely didn't come away like super impressed by it.
Yeah, all I got from it was Hanan just like tossed Maika
Yeah.
Ozaki around, and I was like, Hanan is a bigger motherfucker than I remember. Than like I think. You know what I mean? Like, cause she's like she was just throwing her. She was
Hmm.
just body slamming her like it was nothing. I was like, this is insane. Maika Ozaki's like a she's a big wrestler. Like she's a powerhouse, and Hana's just tossing her. I was like, that's insane. That's wild. That's all I really got from this match was that Hanan is stronger than we know.
But yeah, I mean, judo is all about like using somebody's leverage against them, isn't it? Well, most martial arts are.
Yeah,
Um,
go versus do is what it used
all
to be
right.
called.
Okay.
Is like using another person's
It's
weight and
Stowe.
like
I know. I
you
understand.
know yeah.
Anyway, the next match down on the show was another Triangle Derby match. It was Saki Natsupoi and Tam Nakano beating Amisore, Mirai, and Siri. Tam pinned Amisore with a violet screwdriver. Um, remember thinking this match isn't as bad as it could have been, but it wasn't amazing. Like it was good enough. I remember I think it was Ami, Sore, and Tam did a lot, and I was like, at least this isn't Ami and Saki. Like that was my only thought process.
Yeah, and they could have because they love that
Hmm.
act connection. Um, yeah, I the screwdriver got a big
Yes.
pop. Uh, they definitely were saving for the semifinal match. which the semifinal match should be good. I didn't really like this one, because I was just like, this feels nothing. This feels like just I don't need to watch this. Um, so yeah, there's room for improvement,
Definitely. Yeah.
but I think they'll do it. I think
We'll
it'll be
just
fun.
focus more on Suri, who's like their best wrestler, or even Mirai. But you know, it's a whole thing.
Rice a
Yeah.
different animal, man.
The main event then of the show was another Triangle Derby match. It was Kurumi Hiragi, Suzuki, and Risa Sera beating Mai Sakurai, Tekla, and Julia. Suzuki got the win with the tequila shot in just under 14 minutes.
Yes.
Um,
Say it with me, y'all. Karumi
of course,
carried,
Kurumi's
like she always
amazing.
does.
She's kicking ass.
Oh, she's a
Um,
god. Like I remember thinking she was like the fourth best member of Prominence. I'm she's like neck and neck with Risa
oh,
for two.
she's like,
Like
yeah,
if
she's
not
better than
better than
Risa Sera,
Risa.
I would say.
Yeah, she's more
Mm.
consistent than Risa. I mean, on Risa's best days, I'm a huge Risa Sarah fan, but like consistency wise, Kurumi's a firm
Yeah.
number two. Sometimes she's more consistent than Suzu, for God's sakes, and Suzu's like the best wrestler in the world. Like Kurumi's just Kurumi's insane.
Yeah, I've always
Shout out to
liked
her.
Kurumi. I'm still disappointed that injury robbed us of her and Hiroya Matsumoto as tag champions because that would have just been like greatest
Oh
shit.
man.
Um, but yeah, no, this like by the end got really good. I thought in the middle it lost
Yeah.
its way a bit, but then it kind of got back on board. The crowd seemed to have kind of burnt out by this point of the show. Like it seemed like the crowd definitely peaked with Waka, and after that they were still into it, but they weren't like as energetic. Because I really felt like there
Yeah.
was some parts of this where I was like, why aren't you like cheering? Like Risa, Sera, and Julia were wrestling, and they were just clapping, and I was like, are you not excited by Julia and Risa Sera wrestling?
Are you not
Yeah. So
entertained?
there was definitely a few bits where I was like, okay, the crowd is like burnt itself out a little bit. But yeah, I still enjoyed it. It was a really good match. Not the best match of the show because there was some like amazing matches earlier in the card, but a nice cap to the block play of the derby. Um, let's see,
Give me another Tekla Suzu singles.
all of the Tekla. Tekla's great.
Because I know they did it a couple times. They did it a few times in
Yeah,
Ice Ribbon. I haven't seen them because I'm me, but I do know that they did that. But I
mm,
want another one.
it's valid. Obviously the important stuff came after the match when Mayukihi showed up. Um, so this was funny. Is Mai Sakurai and Tekla like left right away. So it was the 5 people in the Stardom ring to end the Korakuen show was Risa Sera, Kurumi Hiragi, Suzuki, Julia, and Mayukihi. All Ice Ribbon alumni. And Julia was the only one of the 5 that never held the Infinity Belt, but she is now the Red Belt champion, so I think she got the last laugh. But that was just a very fun visual where I was like, yeah, I mean, imagine this. like, like 2019 Ice Ribbon was like Julia was an army woman and Mayuki he was beating the shit out of everyone, and now here they are with the Prodigy and Risa Sera. Um, and that was followed up by Mayuki answering Julia's challenge for a red belt match, and completely
It was
misread the
terrible.
room. Was like, I hate Rossi and I hate you, Julia, and I bet you all hate me for that too. And they were like, I don't know, you're kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
she's funny. They were
Oh,
laughing, like because she's funny. She's a funny
dude, everybody
person.
here hates Rossi. Like that. Like that's not gonna get you heat. Like that makes you the baby face.
I don't. I know she's like I fucking hate you, Julia. And everybody's like, ooh. She's like, and I hate you, Rossi. And everybody's like, ah, that's funny. Same. Like that was it. Nobody cares. Nobody's like us. You know, star drones don't exist. You know
Well,
what I mean? Like in reality, in
yeah, okay,
Japan, in
yeah.
Japan, they don't exist.
Yeah, because it was just a complete like misreading of the vibe. Because I feel like people just wanted a challenge, whereas they've tried to do this like, yeah, like I hate you, and I mean I guess her not caring about the belt makes sense. Like I don't mind that part. But her just being like, yeah, I
Mhm.
hate you and I hate Rossi, and that makes you all hate me. And they were like, I mean, you're cool. Like we don't care. Um, and even Julia had to be like, I think you should boo her more. And so they're like, boo, boo. But it was really like 5 dudes. Like, so.
It was so lame. It
yeah
was so lame, and I hate how lame
for
it was. Cause like they're
yeah.
so cool. I like
Like
them
you
both.
have so much easy
I'm
stuff
a
to
big fan.
dive into with Kihi and Julia. And also Yuki is so experienced. I feel like she should be able to read the room a bit better. You know what I mean? Like you've been doing this for however many years. You were like world champion twice already. You should maybe be able to go, okay, this isn't working. Let's try something else. Or even Julia, like one of you should have been like, okay, this isn't working. Um,
Like
yeah, it just.
I don't know. I feel like interpromotional stuff is so easy. Like invader stuff is so
But
easy,
I guess this
and I feel
isn't
like
that
Stardom is just
because
never.
Yukihi was just like adrift for a year. You know, had she come right from Ice Ribbon, I feel like it would feel different because she spent a year just floating in the sea doing nothing of note. It's like,
But I
all
think that
right, I mean, sure, I guess.
I don't know. I feel like the heat, like you could have heat with the company, like
Well,
like that works. Like I think the idea of like, oh, Maya coming in and being like, man, fuck you, fuck this company, fuck the boss, fuck everybody in this company, I'm gonna take your belt. I don't think that doesn't work, but I think conditioning it as like I am doing this and that's a heel thing to do is not logical because like everybody likes like she's cool, right? It's not like fucking it's not like Baron Corbin came in. Like somebody who's just like so uninteresting, nobody gives a fuck. And it's like, "Oh, I'm going to ruin your shit." And everybody's like, "No, don't ruin my shit." Like that's not
hmm,
what happened. Maya's cool. She's one of the few people who had a good triangle derby. You know, she's one of the few people who like showed out. Like why I just don't get why they went with like the you should boo me cuz I don't like the champion. Wahaha. Like who gives a fuck?
yeah,
They're cool.
it was a complete miss from the two of them, and they kind of got it back on track at the press conference because that was zesty. That presser was zesty.
A little bit.
Like she accused Rossi of like contract tampering, and he was like, "I don't know what you're talking about, man. I didn't do that." Like he was like, "Shut up! I don't want to get sued."
That was some dude named
Yeah,
Hiroshi. I don't
that
know who
was
the fuck.
she was flying a bit too close to the sun with that one, but yeah, she did get it back on track, and Julia as well was like, when I'm done with you, you're fucked. Like you're not gonna want to be here anymore. Like there's not room for two of us. I'm gonna kill you. So you know they did redeem it at the press conference, but yeah, this promo and this angle in itself, for accepting the challenge, completely misread the room, and wasn't all that good. But I do like though that Maya doesn't care about the belt because I mean she's throwing shots at Stardom all the time. When she first left Ice Ribbon and was asked, "Oh, are you gonna go to Stardom?" She was like, "No, I'm a bit too old for them." Like from day one, she was like, "I'm not fucking with Stardom." Um, so it wouldn't make sense.
That was
Yeah,
a classic,
so it
by the
wouldn't
way.
make sense for her to come in and be like, "Oh, I covered the red belt. It's like the best belt in Joshi." Like she's like, "No, I just want to hurt you. I want to take your belt, and I want to take Rossi's belt because you won't like that." And I kind of I like that aspect of it. Um, because yeah, it just wouldn't make sense to me for her to come in and be like, "Oh, I really like, I always wanted to win the red belt," and I'm like, "No, you fucking didn't. Don't lie."
Yeah, no, and I thought that was like the best delivery at the show last week, when she was like, "Oh, well, fuck Julia, but what does that belt mean something?
Yeah,
I
she
don't
was like,
know.
"I'm here for my
Am I
pals." She's like,
supposed to
"I'm
give a
here
fuck?"
for because I'm loyal to my
Yeah,
buds. I don't want your belt."
and I also think that that escalation was pretty dumb too. Like the way that like she went from like I don't know, fuck you, I don't really give a fuck, and then she's like, "I hate you." It's like okay, calm the fuck down. Like you can do that, but like when you do it in this sense, it just I feel like nothing hit with that for me, uh, which is a shame, but it is what
Yeah.
it is.
Um, but you know, the match itself will be pretty chill, so I can't really complain too much.
Yeah,
But that was that show. Very good show overall. Nice to have the crowd back. The next show to review was on February 19th. This is in Stardom in Tokorozawa. They ran this Japan
just
Pavilion Hall A. They sold out at 505 fans for this one. Um, so I love
cool.
this venue, by the way. I think it looks great for what Stardom tries to do with their venues now. I love the setup. I'd like to
Yeah,
see them come back here a bit more. Um, Opener of this was Lady C beating Rena. in under 7 minutes with a move called I'm Ready. And
It's the
yeah,
blue thunder
and
bomb.
I've got to say, I've never loved Lady C more than when I found out her finisher is called I'm Ready, because it's just so great.
I know. I was like, huh. Lady C's just a.
She's great. I love her.
I don't know why. Like, you know that GIF of her just going like C, like being all confused
Mhm.
and then throwing up the C. I was like, yeah. Like I don't know. That just feels like Lady
Yeah.
C in a nutshell. Of just like not very sure what's going on or what's happening or like what she's supposed to be or do. But she got the
Yeah.
C though. You know, she throws it up and then, that's the Lady C, and I like her for that. This match
I
wasn't
know.
great, but it didn't
Yeah,
really need to
the
be.
the crowd for the show was kind of bad because they were allowed to cheer, but it's like they forgot how. So it was just like three dudes yelling every now and again. But otherwise it was like,
They started to get a little bit more
I
lively down the stretch,
guess,
like in
yeah.
the
But
later
like they
matches.
they were kind of bad for this one.
The last two
Um,
specifically.
yeah, like it was all right. And then Lady C got on the microphone and was like, it's my time. I've got to win. Um, she had a quote that I forget that I thought was really funny, but it's completely lost on me. And then she said,
She said something about oh, there's a lot for me to do, but first I'm gonna win the belt. And I was like, that's not how
yeah,
that.
yeah, she said, so
But
Ami Miura, I want your belt. And I was like, did she just, did she just do that? Like she half,
like what? I was so confused
yeah.
on why.
Imagine half calling somebody the right name and then calling them by their old name. Like, that's so funny. Um,
Crazy.
so yeah, she dead named Amisore. Not on. Cancelled, I think.
Methinks that this
Yeah,
is
I mean
canceled.
she's a teacher too. She
Um.
should know better.
Oh man, I don't know. I just found that so funny. Lacey going, Ami,
Because
let's
she
go with
literally
Miura. Yeah,
said
Ami
Sore.
Miura.
She
Fuck you.
started to say Sore and then went, oh shit, no, that's not it. It's Miura.
Do you think? Do you think that she like? I don't know if she thought that if she mixed them up literally or if she was doing it
I
as a
think she just
bit.
got mixed up,
I don't
probably.
know.
Because
It's so
I don't know,
funny.
but it was very funny. But yeah, she challenged for the future belt, and that's
Nobody's called her Ami Miura in a year. She doesn't know who Ami Miura is. Like she was not in the company.
it's great, honestly, very fun. Um, Match after that then was Yuna Mizumori beating Hina in just under 8 minutes with a Supergirl pin. Um, I'm not gonna lie to you, I wanted to claw my eyes out watching this match. I was like, I just don't care. Like Hina just like does stuff, and I think some of it's cool. And Yuna Mizumori is great when she's with Seven Up, but when she's on her own, it's a different story.
She's like
Yeah,
fine.
it's not really as good. I mean, I didn't hate this, but I remember just being like, okay, I'm kind of done with this house show. So much so that I didn't watch anything else from this show other than the main event. So yeah, I
What?
know. It just was like, there's no need. It's a house show. I
Jesus
didn't think there was
Christ.
anything
Y-
important.
Waka once again got
Really damn
huge
innocent.
reaction.
Yeah, because I remember looking and I was like, there's no need to watch this. Like, it's a house show. Like, nothing happens. But I don't know. I guess you can tell me if I'm wrong. Because the next match was Amisore, Mirai, and Siri beating Waka Tsukiyama, Natsupoi, and Tam Nakano. Amisore beat Waka in 12.5 minutes with a blue thunder bomb. What was this one like?
Yes. Tam and Shuri did some fun stuff. Otherwise, it was
Right?
fine. It was really funny because Poi started the match
Hmm?
with Mirai. Mirai completely like drowned her out in terms of crowd reaction. With the
Oh,
Mirai
I might have actually.
claps.
I might have watched this because I remember that.
No, they did that. They
Oh,
did
the
that in the
Korakuen,
match
yeah.
the
Oh
day
yeah, the
before too.
Mirai stuff is over as hell as
Yeah.
well. I didn't say that, but it is.
Yes. Very. Um. But yeah, Mirai ate Poi alive with the chance. Then Poi's like, man, fuck you. And she tagged in Waka, and Waka just got her shit
Amazing.
rocked for a while. Um. And then yeah, Tam and Shuri was fun, and then Ami Ami beat up Waka. And this is when Kevin came out to challenge Shuri.
Why did she think she could beat Siri?
Yeah,
Why did she challenge her?
just because she wanted to continue the
All right.
the
Okay.
series
I
for New
mean,
Blood.
interesting choice, I guess.
Because she's
Yeah.
back now, I guess. Like she missed, even though she didn't miss. I don't know. Who
Yeah.
fucking knows? Kevin's a
Very much
strange
so.
individual.
The next match on the show then was Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa beating Hanan and Saya Ida. Mina Shirakawa got the win for her team in under 10 minutes. What was this one like, Dylan?
It was
All
it
right.
was solid. Mina submitting Hanan
Yeah.
is interesting because I don't know if you can tell, but I feel like everybody who's ever gotten an upset over Mina is
Mm.
rectifying. Because like Hanan's the lowest member of the roster that's ever pinned Mina clean. And Mina just like beat her so straight up that I find that kind of interesting.
She's winning the white belt.
Same with Tekla.
It's
Yeah.
clear as day, anyway, to me.
Hmm. So I'm thinking Mina wins the white belt, lose it to Mirai like almost
No.
immediately. Maybe not immediately, but like
No.
this summer
No.
before the 5-star.
No.
That's how I see it.
We don't do that anymore here. It's V10 or nothing. I don't know.
I fucking hate that. I do not want to see 10 singles matches with Mina
Well, I don't
Shirakawa.
know. You
Uh,
might just have to suffer.
not 10,
Just have
not
to
like
live and
that,
suffer.
because she has good
She
five
does.
stars, but like I just don't.
It's fair.
I don't need that.
The match after that then on this card was Miyu Amasaki, Saya Kamatani, Azumi, and Utami Hayashishita beating Momokogo, Hazuki Koguma, and Mayu Iwatani. Saya Kamatani got the win for her team with a Star Crusher. I saw a clip from this that Utami gave Mayu a rose for her birthday and then rolled her up. She's mean. No?
No, that's not what happened. Utami gave
Uh-huh.
Mayu a rose for her birthday, and then German suplexed
Oh,
her on her fucking
amazing.
neck and
Okay.
broke it. It was disgusting. Like it was one of the most. It was a Mayu bump. Like in the first 2 seconds of the match, and I was like, that really was what this match was. This
All
was the
right.
best match of the night, by far. Yeah, Hazuki. I'm sure you
Oh,
saw that
dude,
clip
yeah.
too of Hazuki just like
It
baiting
reminded me of
Saya to the
the
ground.
old Hazuki and
Um,
Arisa Hoshiki exchanges because they always went crazy with each other.
yeah. I mean, Hazuki used to do that a lot. She
Mm.
did that with Kagetsu a lot. Uh, where she would just like keep bludgeoning him, and just like everybody be like, "God damn, bro,
Hmm.
that's your homie, that's your friend. What the fuck is happening?" But yeah, Hazuki Hazuki was on her shit, bro. Actually, everybody was on their shit. I feel like Utami and Azumi also like they were doing really interesting spots. Like they did what I feel like this match was like what I wanted out of the Triangle Derby
Yeah.
in terms of like teamwork, because like they were all just like working together super well, and it was like a very team based match. And we just didn't get that a lot
Mm.
in the Triangle Derby, but this was that, in my opinion. Koguma Mayu did some great stuff too, uh, against Azumi and Utami. So yeah, really good
All right.
match overall.
That's cool. I was gonna ask if Utami is like trying again, so it's good to know she is. Kinda.
Kinda. She's trying into
Right.
tag team work. Like her and Azumi were like putting in a fucking shift, and I was like, that's
Okay.
interesting.
I like it. Um, the last match on the show, the main event, was Mai Sakurai, Tekla, Himeka, Maika, and Julia beating Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, Uraka, Saki Kashima, and Natsuko Tora. Maika got the win for her team with a Michinoku driver in just under 15 minutes. Yeah, this was a really good match. It had a few awkward moments, but overall it was like pretty good.
It
Mm,
kind of overstayed its welcome at a certain point. Not even like in the end. It wasn't like that long. I think it was 14 minutes or something like that. It wasn't like it didn't feel like long. It just felt at a certain point. I think Starlight Kid was in there with Tekla and Mai Sakurai, and that was like a big chunk of the match in like the late middle. And I was just like, okay, we can kind of wrap this up. If we can go now. And then Micah and Saki got in. They kind of broke down. There was some tag stuff. It was really good near the end. But yeah, I thought it kind of dwelled a bit in the middle.
yeah, no,
But it was a
yes,
good
yeah,
match
pretty good
overall.
main event. Um, it definitely like was kind of overshadowed by just the promo after where it really like sunk in
Mhm.
because Micah got to cut the promo, and she was really comfortable on the microphone. I don't know if she's always been like that, but like she was,
Mike is a star.
yeah,
People like.
her promo was just really good. Like she was just really natural. Um, yeah, she pointed out this is like the last time that all of DDM is probably gonna like team up together before Himeka retires, and
Yeah.
she almost got choked up at that. So Himeka just like pat her on the head.
Oh no, she was
Not at
straight up
this
crying.
point. She hadn't started
Uh,
yet. Like there was a point where she choked up and Himeka pat her on the head, and so she laughed. But yeah, she did after the roll call. She just she lost it. Um,
cause yeah, like
mm,
she was sitting down, she was talking, and then
yeah,
she's just like, "Fuck, man." She's like,
yeah,
"I don't want to do this." She stood up and she kept talking. She's like, "I really don't want to fucking do this." And then yeah, she
yeah.
started crying after the
Because
roll
I
call.
mean, as she said, like this, we're getting a lot of lasts. Like this is the last time we'll probably see the 10-woman tag, like this with Himeka in it. So that kind
Yeah.
of made this a match worth watching. Um, and we're gonna have a lot of this. We have 2 months of saying goodbye to Jumbo. It is gonna happen eventually. So
Mm,
yeah,
I don't like it. I was talking about like the power of retirement matches, and it's like I don't I don't like it. I was talking to Peps about it. Obviously, I was talking yesterday, but especially with Peps, I think we kind of have the same kind of mentality. That's like retirement matches are so good because they are like the end, like they're the death of a wrestler. Like because as a character, and for somebody who's very invested in like characters more so than like stories, uh, just in like the story of like a progression of a wrestler from the beginning to the end. Like retirement
mhm,
matches are like huge to me, but I hate when they happen. Uh, Especially when they happen when they're young, right? Because like I was like, there's more for Himeka to do. Like there was not more for
yes,
fucking Keiji Muto to do. Like I was sad because it's like, damn, this is really the end of an era. But I wouldn't want to see more Keiji Muto after that. I want to see more Himeka. I don't want Himeka to be gone. I want to see her wrestle. I want to see her win the belts. I want to see, and I don't know. This is just it's hard. Every week we come back to talk about, well, this is Himeka's last this. Well, this was Himeka's well, this and I just it hurts every time.
yeah. I mean, yeah, they're not fun, but it has to happen. Um, but we do still have stuff to preview, so we should move on. Um, So we have there's like technically we have 3 shows to preview, but one of them is like tomorrow, so there's almost no point. But we'll just like through it. So this is Stardom in Matsumoto. This is on the 23rd, the day this will release. The opening match is Miyu Amasaki versus Yuna Mizumori. After that is Tekla versus Saya Ida, which is a nice looking match. Um, then we have Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May versus Koguma and Momo Kogo, and the team of Starlight Kid and Ruaka. And I'm kind of looking forward to that one. Then we have Tam, Mina, and Waka versus Gold Ship. So yeah, that's happening. um, then this could be good. It's
Hmm.
Suri, Mariah, and Amisore versus Mayu Iwatani, Hazuki, and Hanan. So those are some good teams, honestly. Like that could be very good.
Yeah.
And the main event is Julia, Himeka, Maika, and Mai Sakurai, Tsutami Hayashishita, Saya Kamatani, Azumi, and Lady C. They play their cards right.
Anything weird happen to Lady C?
No, probably not. Not in. Where is this one again? Matsumoto. uh, but yeah, if they play their cards right, that could be great. Hopefully, they let Utami and Himeka go ham because like this will be one of the last times they can. So
Yeah.
they should just like let them do their Hoss stuff. Um, we have another house show to preview. It's Stardom in Wakayama on the 25th of February. um, yeah.
We were talking about this last
The
week.
opener is Momokogo versus Yuna Mizumori. Uh, I guess Yuna's just gonna win all of these ones because they're protecting her.
Yeah, I feel like she's where they need like the
Mhm.
SWA belt back. Like not with like the rules. Like the rules kind of suck, but like I feel like Yuna is not challenging for the white belt, but she can easily challenge slash win like an undercard belt, but she's not a high speed wrestler, so there's no
Mm.
undercard belt for her to win. or challenge for even.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the Stardom problem, but
But
yeah,
Yuna's winning.
Yuna getting the win. Um, Match after that is a three-way tag. It's Hanan and Saida versus Lady C and Miwa Masaki versus Starlight Kid and Saki Kashima. So, I mean, sure. I don't know.
Oedo Tai win,
Yeah, I
but
guess.
Wingori should.
Um, Match after that then is Shuri Amisori and Mirai versus Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, and Wakasukiyama. And, well, God's Eye is winning. The match after that is Minish...
Did this match not just happen?
Maybe?
Did I not just watch this
No,
match?
that was with Saki instead of Waka. It's in
N-
the Korakuen.
but they no, this match just happened in
Did it?
Tokorozawa. We just talked
Yeah.
about it 10 seconds ago.
Well,
Natsupoi, Tam Waka, Amisori, and Mirai
that's the
Shuri.
house
Yeah.
show loop for you, brother. Um,
That's fucking crazy,
yeah.
bro.
Um,
Because I was like, wait, there's no God's Eye doesn't have any other permanent members. What's happening here right now?
you know, we're in hell. Um, the match after that is Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa versus Mai Sakurai and Tekla. So, I mean, I guess Mina will win again because she's winning all of her matches, but let's just hope Mariah and
Yeah.
Tekla get to do stuff.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
The match after that is Julia, Maika, and Himeka versus Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Rocka. Well, DDM is winning that one, but remember when Rocka
Yeah.
and Julia used to just like go crazy in every tag match? Like that hasn't
Kill each
happened in
other.
forever, and it probably won't now. But I was just reminded of that. The main event then of this show. This is a great one. Utami, Saya Kamatani, and Azumi versus Mayu Iwatani, Hazuki, and Koguma. Wow. Um,
A teams.
yeah, I guess Saya might like pin Hazuki to get the win back, or like Koguma will just roll up
If she
Azumi.
does, then I do not know if Hazuki's losing. Like
Of
she's
course
going
she
to
is.
lose. But if they keep it like 50-50 like that, I honestly I think Hazuki strolls Sai Kamatani.
Again?
Well, because she brainbusted her last time. I think if she got the roll up over Sai Kamatani, it'd be like, damn, this bitch can really
I feel
beat
like
you.
it's more likely that Koguma rolls up Azumi.
There's also a draw that's always
It's the
possible.
main event though. I think that's half hour.
Yeah, but if
Well,
the people they put Queen's Quest in
it's true.
draws,
I don't know if
even in
the
the main event.
roster themselves are arsed to wrestle half an hour on these house shows anymore. So I don't
That's
know if they would do that to them unless they change the card around because that DDM away to tie match could go on last either.
yeah, but I feel like they just I feel like they're closing every show with Jamaica being like,
Oh
yeah, bye
yeah,
guys.
that's kind of how you do it. So yeah, they might change it, and then that Quest Stars match is a draw, potentially. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. The last show to
Yeah.
preview is Stardom and Showcase Volume 4. This is in the Hyogo Kobe International Exhibition Center. Tickets are moving, I guess. There's 2 sections sold out, so sure. Um, the opening contest. Oh, this isn't a pay per view, by the way. So if you love the
Fucking
stylings
sucks,
of
bro.
DJ Pretty Dragon, you are in for a bad time. Um, the opening match, anyway, is Saya Ida versus Chanyota in the Wrestling Muscle Japan #1 deciding match. It is first an arm wrestling match, then a normal wrestling match, and then posing. So,
Yes.
Ulio.
Love that.
The next match is a Kanzai style Anywhere Falls match. It's Azumi versus Momoka Hanazono versus Natsu Sumire versus Hanan. All hell is going to break loose. Who knows who's going to win? They had 3 people win a match once, so
That did happen.
Natsu might win, or Natsu and Hanazono
I feel
might
like
win.
Azumi over Natsu.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Not Natsu disrespected Stardom. You know
That's true.
that don't
That's
fly no
true.
more.
The match after that is the Strong Machine family versus the
Mhm.
Shinagamis. So the Strong Machine family has an ex, which is going to be Momokogo, because she was involved in the promo that set up this match. So she's probably going to be Strong Machine. And Shinagamis might reveal Yuna Mizumori as the third one, or they might just wrestle under a mask. Who the fuck knows? Shinagamis,
No, it's gonna be. I think it's. Uh,
huh?
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if it's Aoi,
Are
because
are these the Shinagamis like these
probably.
Shinagamis or Are
These are
these
the Shiminogamis.
like
Yeah, it's you and Nanai, definitely.
so? It's Yunanai,
Yuna.
and I would probably say Aoi.
Yuna is like part of their group.
Yeah, but Aoi is the Shinigami
Yeah, but
now.
she was a stand-in probably.
Okay, then whoever was supposed to be
So
Aoi.
Yuna.
I don't think it was supposed to be
Why
Yuna
not?
because Yuna was already revealed as a member of the group at that
A
point.
mistake though, because Alpha Female was like not booked on the show randomly.
Dude, if it's Yuna, then fuck me. But I don't know. I think this is like I think this is lower, brother.
Well,
There's
I'll have to
more
wait
of
and
them.
see, I guess. The next match then.
Also, that one is literally Aoi
Yes, that's true.
in
That
the
is true.
picture.
But
The
I don't
C
know, because they've
is
stopped
Aoi.
using Aoi. So like, would they? Yeah, because he's not even on New Blood anymore. Like, so I don't know.
That is
Yeah.
strange. I don't know.
The next match on the show anyway is what will happen to Cosmic Angels Captain Fall match.
That's what
Yeah.
it's called. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
So it's a Captain's Fall tag match. It is Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, and Saki versus Mina Shirakawa, Waka Tsukiyama, and Mariah May. So yeah, it's a thing.
You know, Tam is always in drama. It's never like it's never high enough stakes to be like it's never Stars Oedo Tai type
Mhm.
thing where it's like, dire circumstances. It's always like, ooh, will they break up? Let's see. Ooh, T. It's like what? Why? It just keeps happening.
Ooh,
Because I
T.
just think of Break of
Ooh,
Stars.
T.
Yes, ooh, T. Yes, that. I just think of Break of Stars question mark question
Was
mark question mark,
amazing.
and I was like, that what? What is that? Why is that the tagline of this match? Break of Stars? Like who? Yeah, they break it up, bro. What?
I mean, in their defense, I feel like they don't decide on the names, and whoever, 'cause all of the matches here have funky names, so
No,
they were just like,
I know that they don't decide on the
let's
names,
go.
but
What
I'm
will
just saying that
happen?
they always do this
I
for
mean,
Tam shit,
yeah, that's kind of her thing.
where
In fairness,
it's it's never like oh this is like dire. It's like ooh I
yeah,
wonder what will happen.
this one isn't her fault. This is Mina.
No, no.
Mina's causing the trouble here.
Well, yeah. I mean, Mina.
Look, actually, I've just
I was
realized. I
watching.
think Waka is the captain for her team. Yeah, Tam and Waka are the captains.
That's fucked. Yeah, they
So
are.
Waka is gonna
Um,
cost her team the win. Interesting.
I feel like so there's this. Sorry to. I know we're pushing time,
Yeah, but
but
it's Stardom and
there's this
Showcase. Don't think
one.
too hard about it. Like,
No, I'm not thinking too hard. I'm making a reference. There's this one clip of a Twitch streamer going like, "You can't call everything a drama. Like the Ukraine-Russia conflict is not a drama. Why does everybody on the internet call everything a drama? That's not how that works. This is a drama.
mm,
This is not a conflict. This is a drama. That's how I feel about the Cosmic Angel stuff, and it's fucking hilarious.
all right, fair enough. The match after this then is a UWF rules match. It is Siri versus Saki Kashima. So I believe Saki Kashima was talking shit like about Siri,
Yeah,
and Siri was behind the curtain when she did it and was like, "Oh, all right then."
Saki Kashima was like, "I bet I could even beat her in a UWF match.
Yeah,
She's chicken shit. She lost her belt." And then Shuri's like, "Damn, really?" And she's like, "Ah!" It was a whole thing.
yeah, it was great. Um,
It
the
was a great video.
next match on the show then is a Stardom 12th anniversary Stars versus Queen's Quest versus Uedo Tai Lifetime Limited Premium Kobe Beef Scramble 3-way elimination match. The Stars team is Mayu, Hazuki, and Koguma. Queen's Quest is Utami, Saya Kamitani, and Miyu Amasaki. And the Uedo Tai team is Natsuko Tora, Starlight Kid, and Momo Watanabe. This match is all homegrowns to celebrate the 12th anniversary of Stardom.
Oh yeah, it is.
So this is a 3-way elimination match. We fight until there's one player standing. Fight until the unit is settled. If only players, oh right, so only one person can win. So if you're left with just your teammates, you have to fight your
Oh,
teammates. And
it's the Monster Ripper gimmick.
yes, so
That's
the
dope.
last remaining person gets a local high quality Kobe beef subscription. So
It's definitely gonna come down to Koguma and Mome. I don't know.
I don't know. Doesn't matter. They're winning beef. I don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like Oedo Tai are the known eaters, right? Like
Yeah.
they the ones who like the food, even
That's.
though
Oh, it would be really funny
Stars
if
also
Miyu
like
Amasaki won.
Miyu Amasaki wins and then just becomes like a power wrestler.
Yes.
Just eats all the beef, becomes like this fucking swole ass
Chunk.
motherfucker. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
chunk. Be great. The main event then is a hardcore rules match. It's Julia, Maika, and Himeka of Dom Del Mondo versus Risa Sera, Suzuki, and Kurumi Hiragi. Yeah, so this is just Himeka getting to tick this off the bucket list before she goes.
They're definitely doing that ladder spot again.
But yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, Prominence probably should win because this is their thing, but who knows? Yeah, no, they're winning.
Yeah, I
They're
feel like
winning.
Risa
They're winning.
over
Yeah,
Himeka.
forehead. So
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, that is everything. Finally,
Yeah.
I am so my throat is so tired. um, I don't know if you have any closing remarks or if I could just close the show.
No, it sucks that this is not live.
Yeah,
I think this looks like a really fun match or a really fun show overall. Like it's one of the better, maybe not better cards, but it's like a relatively interesting showcase
yeah.
card. I feel like the second one was probably weaker, or one of them was weaker, second or third, I forget,
Mm.
than this. So it's a shame, but is what it is. Don't know when we're gonna be back next week because I will not be available to record
Yeah,
on Wednesday.
so I mean, we probably won't get to review Showcase because it won't go up
Yeah.
until Wednesday, and Wednesday is like the day you are going.
Yes.
So we probably won't be able to review that. We probably get to watch the Matsumoto show if anybody gives a shit. But mainly next week we'll be about previewing the Triangle Derby finals, which is the big one, obviously, given that that's it's the final of the Derby, and we have
Damn, March is a
big title
busy ass
matches.
month.
Yes, it is. I
Ay, Dios
love it.
mío.
I love it here so much. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Stardom shows in March. All right. It is
They working these motherfuckers to death
yeah.
for real.
Anyway, it is time to close the show. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Ijo.
Ijo.